Donald. Donald is his name.
Poke.
Okay, so we are here. We are live at the Bulldog Kia dealership here, and now we actually are not in Bogart, Georgia. Today we are actually in Athens, Georgia, and we are here to give a car away. And we will give a car away momentarily here on the Mike Church Show and the Crusade Radio Network, asking the question of the day. Well, I guess I would have to connect the audio source. So I didn't do my sound check and get everything that was supposed to be at the ready. So we have a grand total of 836 tickets that were sold, which is smashed the previous record. So we're going to tell you all about that, and we'll let the Emperor tell you all about how Obama's going to take over the world, and then we'll come back here live in just a second.
Continuing stability, the Republic will be reorganized into the first galactic empire. What the? For a safe and secure society.
Thunder, well, now you got it. You tell him I'm coming, and hell's coming with me, you hear? Hell's coming with me!
So Maggie O'Connell just saved the day because the power was not. That's engineering 101. Which is why you just saved the day. I'm sitting here hitting the button going like, I know that the soundboard is here. My keys are here. I'm watching the clip play. I'm checking my connection, going like everything is connected. Forgot to turn the machine on. By the way, a very special surprise this morning. The old farmer, Mitter Mundy, shows up all the way from central New Jersey. So you flew in last night. Okay. So he is here. Grand total for the Golden True ticket to 2024 to win the Kia Sportage EX is 836 Golden True tickets sold. So the previous record of 676 is eclipsed by 124 and 150. That is, and in the Biden economy, that's just a magnificent achievement. And that's all to all of you guys. So thanks to all of you for that. And so many of you, I mean, I got emails last night. Some people signed up for one ticket and then ultimately all right. I'm just making sure that I didn't turn something else off. That's all. So I got a note from a gentleman who had dropped out of the Crusade basically 5 years ago. I won't mention his name, but he got my invitation to get a Golden True ticket for the same price and 6 months free of the Founders Pass membership, and he took it. And at first he bought 5 and he donated them all to the St. Benedict Center. And then he followed that up yesterday with 10. So Brother Andre, I don't know where Brother is. I think Brother's still on the Compostela. He's still on the pilgrimage. But if anyone from the St. Benedict Center, Doug Marsaw bought a ticket, right? So Loretto Publications is in. So someone in Richmond, New Hampshire may be driving that car, or you may be delivering that car to someone in Richmond, New Hampshire. In any event, we just want to thank everyone who's just doubled down on their purchases, and it looks really, really big that you had 836, almost got to the 1,000. So that's what, 83, 84, we're gonna round up. 84, we'll be Democrats today. We're gonna round up. It's 84% of the goal of the 1,000 tickets, which was, by the way, was all his idea. This is all you're doing was, okay, you're gonna do 1,000 tickets next year. So we were tickled proverbial pink about all this. We got a great show lined up here for you. Major decisions at the Supreme Court yesterday. Steve Bannon perp walked, humiliated and embarrassed on international television, perp walked into jail. No, I'm not happy about it. I'm not sanguine about it. I think it's an absolutely awful moment in American history. I was under the impression that the Congress could have acted and that Speaker Zion King could have got that in front of the House at some point and could have rescinded the what would they call it, the legitimacy of the subpoena that Bannon supposedly flouted or whatever, which led to the contempt of Congress charge, which then led to him being perp walked into jail yesterday. But you know, I got to tell you, and you all know my history with Steve Bannon. By the way, Bannon is not the media celebrity guy that he is without me. Without the White Church Show, because Steve starts filling in for me on the Sirius XM Patriot channel. Breitbart News launches the Breitbart News Weekend Show in 2010 on the Sirius XM Patriot channel, and it's Steve, and I forget the other guy's name, who do that show. Somewhere in 2010, Dave Gorab, who is the VP talk radio programming at Sirius XM, informs me, because I used to get to pick my fill-in hosts. So I picked Kevin Gutzman, I picked the Southern Avenger Jack Hunter, I had Tom Woods fill in one time, and I was then told, no, we have your fill-ins covered now. Steve Bannon is going to fill in for you, and then it would never fail. Every time I would take off, and Bannon would fill in. My email box would be filled up like, why do I have to listen to this guy? Why you used to pick all these great fill-in hosts? And I'm giving you history here. So Bannon is doing Breitbart Weekend News. And he's throwing in for me. He filled in for Wilkow, filled in for Andrew Wilkow on the Sirius XM Patriot channel. Of course, you all know what happened in November of 2015. Sirius XM declined to renew my contract, and they instead, in their words, just an editorial decision. We're going in a different direction, and they gave my audience that I worked 13 years to build, they gave it back. And so it became the Steve Bannon Show instead of the Mike Church Show on the Sirius XM Patriot channel. But Bannon had other designs. He used the audience and the platform that I helped build to get the attention of Trump. Trump started appearing on Steve Bannon's show on Sirius XM. By the time you get around to April and May of 2016, he has made contact with the people that are running the Trump campaign. In June of 2016, Steve Bannon then is offered the job of being the chief political advisor to then candidate Trump. He takes the gig, leaves the Sirius XM Patriot channel, and then goes and works for President Trump. You all know the rest of the story. Trump wins the election. He's inaugurated. Steve is number 2 in the White House. He's the chief political advisor. They put him on the cover of Time freaking magazine as the second most powerful man in the world. Am I the only one that remembers all of this? Well, all of this is brought about for Steve by this show that you're listening to or watching on YouTube. Well, you always post and brag and start your show off. I'm revealing history to you of how I know Steve Bannon professionally since 2010. Yesterday was a dark day in American history. Yeah, I had my beef with Bannon taking over the show, and I probably said some things. I took them down off YouTube, so you can't go and find that. I deleted them about Steve in the past. But I have to tell you that yesterday when he showed up at the courthouse in Connecticut at the jail, and then a Catholic priest showed up with a very thick Irish accent. When he showed up, and then he did the whole thing. I think we have a clip that basically don't cry for me, Argentina, kind of. Don't write any letters because I'm not going to read them. And and I'm not going to raise you back and say, get out there and do the work of beating these bastards, basically, and electing President Trump and taking this deep state down. And Marjorie Taylor Greene was there with him. And the Catholic priest, we have to celebrate? Was it on the sheet? The priest said the St. Michael the Archangel prayer. Now remember, this happens on July the 1st. July is the month, if you're a Catholic, is the month traditionally celebrated as the feast of the entire month is dedicated to the precious blood of our Lord, which was shed on the cross, right? So on July the 1st, this happens. So Bannon is then, and he goes into the courthouse, they film this. They handcuffed him. I'm like, why do you have to handcuff the guy? This is complete and total humiliation
He's
here.
turning himself in. He's not going to bolt.
Yeah, I mean, what's he going to do? He's going to run? I mean, it doesn't look like he's in very good shape. I think a good guard could probably catch him after about 20 yards. So what's he going to do? He's not armed. They handcuffed him. And this is part of the problem. Folks, you must understand this. That video of Steve Bannon being perp walked into that jail, the leftards are going to use that as basically as a warning to all of you little people out there. Cross us, and we'll do this to you too, right? So it's a dark day. Steve Bannon is no different than any other political prisoner that a political party that's running a regime and any banana republic that has ever done to one of their enemies. And the fact that the United States Congress, the House of Representatives, could not forestall this. Bannon also appealed to the Supreme Court. They refused to hear, or they declined to hear his appeal. So he will be in jail now for the next 4 months. We have some of the sound bites of what he had to say before he went in. But think about all of this happening on the same day. Okay, so while this is going on in Connecticut, what's happening in Mordor on the Potomac River? The SCOTUS comes out with its decisions. So the first case is, I forget the case, coroner something or other. The second case is what's called the net choice case. There's a law in Texas, there's a law in Florida that was passed to basically undo the censorship or try to punish the social media companies for censoring the citizens of those two states who did things, dastardly things, Mr. Money. Like they wrote things on their social media about maybe you should study a little bit more about this vaccine before you have it jabbed into your arm a couple of times. No, not that. So it was called the net choice case. Now the New York Times and the leftards around there going, "You're in the court, but you're in the court." The court wouldn't do it. Decided against Texas and Florida. I read the opinion. That's not what I read. I read that the lower courts did a rotten job of ferreting out whether or not this was a First Amendment case or not, and the high court going like, we're sending this back down to the lower court. Okay, so the net choice decision comes out. That is the notorious ACB. That is Amy Coney Barrett. She is the principal author of the opinion. Next up is the one everyone's waiting for, is Samuel Alito. And Alito comes out with Chief Justice Roberts in the United States versus Trump. I want everyone watching and listening right now to just think about the title card on that case. The United States versus Trump. And I have it pull up here. I don't have my screen plugged in, but Maggie, I can send you the link to the PDF file so you can show people on YouTube. As you get caught up on the Golden Truth tickets and all that. Supreme Court of the United States, syllabus Trump versus United States. This is, to my knowledge, the first time it has ever occurred, and they even say this in the syllabus. We've never had a case where a former U.S. president was the plaintiff. So it's never happened before. So they kind of set up the history of this. This is the 6-3 decision that is in favor of President Trump, whereas Donald Trump at this point in time, he's citizen just like you and I. He's John Q. Public, right? Certiorari to the United States Supreme Court of Appeals for the District of Columbia Circuit. I'll give you the nuts and bolts of the decision. Basically, this is the high court saying to the lower court pretty much what some of the legal eagles had said the way this was going to go, Jonathan Turley among them, saying that, well, and what Turley had been saying was, well, I think what's going to happen here is the court more than likely is going to take this case. They're going to basically say, we're not going to render a decision on the unofficial acts because the lower court didn't define them, and we're going to rule in favor of the blanket immunity for official acts. So that's a done deal. So no U.S. president, according to this opinion, can be held liable for anything that they have done in office that is what's called an official act. Okay, the immunity is exactly as Trump lawyers claim. Now, you get to the unofficial acts. So what's an unofficial act? Well, the high court says the lower court did not define what an unofficial act is. We don't know what an unofficial act is. Chief Justice Roberts, in his concurring opinion, says, look, we're not saying that a president can do anything that they want, which is the exact opposite of what the leftards are saying. We're not saying that a president or any officer of the United States can do whatever the hell they want and then claim diplomatic or executive privilege and then immunity from it. What we're saying is that the lower court has not defined what act Trump supposedly committed that was unofficial. We know the ones that were official. This is one, it's even mentioned in here, the phone call. We're in Georgia. The phone call to Governor Brian Kemp covered under immunity. No matter what Trump, if Trump called and asked him, Brian, I heard your golf game sucks. Okay, I heard all about it. I'm a club champion. You're like Biden. You probably can't even hit the ball 50 yards. Just 50 yards, Brian. I'll come down there and I'll give you some pointers on call. Doesn't matter what Trump called Brian Kemp about. If the secretary said the president of the United States is on the phone, and Brian Kemp said, oh, put him through, that's an official act. Almost immaterial regardless of whatever they talked about. It doesn't matter. That is the president calling the chief executive of the state. He's calling him as president. That's an official act. The phone call that was made to Brian Kemp and Brad Raffensperger, if I read the opinion correctly, is an official act because Trump called as president of the United States and said, hey, I think my people think you guys got some rotten people in your Secretary of State's office in Georgia, and some rotten things, illegal things, happened in your election, and we want you to look into them. We're insisting that you look into them and fully investigate them. That's an official act. So you can just dismiss with the entirety now. The Fonnie Willis case is gone. This decision yesterday should have just put a plutonium bomb on it and just nuked it. Oh, speaking of Fonnie Willis, Judge Ural Glanville yesterday. What's our boy's name? By the way, Mrs. O'Connell, introduce yourself and tell everyone that you're here.
Good morning, everyone.
And how excited you are to be
I am
here.
super excited.
And how thrilled you are for 836
Absolutely amazing.
Golden True tickets. And so what's our boy's name? It's Big Thug, Young Thug. Young Thug and Big Slime Life. It's our favorite gangster rappers, basically. Here in Georgia. David, do you have any Big Thug? No. Young Thug. It's Young Thug. Young Thug and Big Slime Life. Or the two rappers. You say it, you're like, is that really a name? No, it's really a name. It's Fulton County versus Young Thug and Big Slime Life. But you're laughing when that's the case. So this is, now all of this happens on July the 1st. Mm-hmm. It all happens on the day of what John Adams said was the greatest debate in history of the human race, which is the debate over the Lee Resolution and the Declaration of Independence, the first day of the Catholic calendar of the precious blood, and all these events are also around Trump. Trump is in the middle of all this, okay? So Judge Glanville recused himself yesterday. Now remember, Young Thug and Big Slime Life, right? The lawyer that they had retained stumbled on and was told by a whistleblower. Now, a couple other things have happened in the last couple of weeks here on the Mike Church Show on the Crusade Radio Network. And welcoming all of you watching on the YouTube. We're live here today at Bulldog Kia. Here, y'all have to make it sound like the we really are in a real deal car dealership. I'll show you. Look, this is the barrel. This is the Golden Truth barrel. And there is the handle right there. I'm going to open that up. Maggie's going to pour the tickets in next hour. We're going to give that guy a spin, and then I'm actually going to deviate from the previous years. We're not going to do the NCAA March Madness 64 tickets. She's going to reach in here and going to pull one. We're going to put it in an envelope. We're going to have it hermetically sealed. The Brinks car is going to come. We're going to give it to the Brinks guy. The Brinks guy is going to hold it until the last hour of the program, and then we're going to open it up and reveal who the number is. How many runner-up prizes? 4? 4, right? And then after we pull the winner, okay, and put it into the envelope, we're going to pull 4 more. And those 4 get the wonderful runner-up prizes, which I'll tell you all about later. Okay, so back to the story here in Fulton County, which is maybe the most corrupt county, or second most corrupt county in all of the United States, second only to New York. I mean, with the things that are going on in the injustice system here. So, Young Thug and Big Slime Lab are going to be tried as racketeering agents because they say they're distributing fentanyl and drugs through their refugees, right? And that's what the charge is. That they're using their tours and their CD sales or whatever to promote the use and distribution of fentanyl. This is a RICO case, now, as Bonnie Willis claimed. The interesting thing is, and those of you that weren't listening last month, you wouldn't know this. Yes. The interesting thing is that the attorney representing Young Thug and Big Slime Life, I want all of you to commit those names to memory now. These are important names in U.S. history now. Young Thug, Big Slime Life, says that he has been informed by a whistleblower. Now, remember back during Impeachment 1.0, didn't Nancy Pelosi tell us that all whistleblowers are like saints, canonized Catholic saints, basically? That these are the greatest government employees that ever existed because they did the yeoman's work. They stood up to tyranny. We actually have to go. We'll take time out and be right back here on the Crusade Radio Network. I'll tell you more about Big Slime Life.
Hello, Crusaders. I'm Janet Huxley at the Crusade Radio Network News Desk with your Crusade Crucials for Tuesday, July the 2nd, 2024. This report is brought to you by the Golden Truth Ticket Sweepstakes. Listen to the Crusade Radio Network for your chance to win a brand new 2024 Kia Sportage. For tickets, go to crusadechannel.com/golden and hurry. Today is your last day. In the market report, all 3 major indexes were up at last close. The Dow Jones, 0.13%, the S&P, 0.27%, NASDAQ is up 0.83%. In National Day calendar news, just a couple for you today. The first one is it's National Anisette Day, and that is recognizing a liqueur derived from aniseed on National Anisette Day. Aniseed is from the anise herb and gives its licorice or fennel flavor. While usually a dry liqueur, distillers sometimes add a sugar syrup for a sweeter result. It's also National Wildland Firefighter Day, honoring those who protect the nation's wildlands. Every year, wildfires burn millions of acres across the United States. Our quote of the day: "You will accomplish more by kind words and a courteous manner than by anger or sharp rebuke," which should never be used except in necessity. St. Angela Merici. And today we remember the story of the visitation of the Blessed Virgin Mary. You're listening to Crusade Radio Network News.
Hey, it's the King Dude for My Pillow. Mike Lindell sent me my first set of My Pillows 14 years ago. I loved them then, and I still love that same set of original My Pillows today. True story. Now, that's a testament to the craftsmanship and quality of the My Pillow. But don't take my word for it. Go try it for yourself. Use my unique code and get huge discounts and free shipping on all orders by going to mypillow.com/King Dude. That's mypillow.com/King Dude. Hi, it's Mike Church.
And I'm Mike Parrott.
Almost every American schoolchild can tell you what 3 rights are in the Declaration of Independence. That among these are...
Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. But their civics knowledge ends there, and that's a problem. That's why I'm proud to have participated in one effort that I hope addresses this issue, the Covington Compact.
That's right, Mike. You can see the compact at crusadechannel.com/compact.
Strike a blow for New Christendom. Read, sign, and distribute the Covington Compact today at crusadechannel.com/compact.
Do you owe the IRS $10,000 or more in back taxes? Are you being audited or investigated? Has the IRS sent you a letter demanding payment? You may not owe what they claim. Make this free call to the tax doctor now. Let them negotiate with the IRS on your behalf.
800-245-8178. 800-245-8178. That's 800-245-8178.
Mike Church Show Fun Fact number 1316. Snowflakes used to be things that fell from the sky, like fairies. Now they are fairies.
Welcome back here to do the Mike Church Show on the Crusade Radio Network, the fastest 3 hours in all of broadcast talk radio, coming at you live at the speed of truth here today. It is the 2nd of July, 2024. We are live at Bulldog Kia on the Atlanta Highway. We're literally on the Atlanta Highway in Athens, Georgia. You can see the Golden True Ticket barrel right here. Next hour, we're going to load that puppy up with 826 Golden Truth tickets. Now, it's not necessary that you be listening to win. If you're not listening and we pull your number, you're still going to get the car. But it would be nice. It'd just be kind of a nice gesture, if you will, if the 826 tickets that were sold, and I forget how many buyers. I will have that stat later. We're actually tuned in today because we would we'd shatter all of our broadcasting records for concurrent listening. Welcoming all of you that are watching on the Crusade Radio Network here on the YouTube. We'll get the live picture back to you and up in just a moment here. I was talking last hour about the momentousness of July the 1st, 2024. You know, we covered a little bit yesterday of the momentous, the gargantuan events that took place on July the 1st in 1776. And then again on July the 1st, I just kind of touched on it briefly, in 1863, as Robert E. Lee and the Confederate Army are approaching Gettysburg for basically the battle that will end the war, the Battle of Gettysburg. And so we talked a little bit about July the 1st. Of course, July the 1st, 1776 is the date. 1776 is the date where the Declaration of Independence is, that the debate is held, and John Dickinson is the one delegate to the Second Continental Congress. Okay, and that the Maggie O'Connell is back in the makeshift studio now.
Had to get coffee, bro.
Dude, I'm just reading you what is in the chat. People losing their collective minds over the fact that you had the unmitigated wrong audacity to put a placard up instead of live video on a video stream. So, let this be a chastisement. You don't leave the room again, okay?
I had to go get coffee. I haven't had coffee yet all morning.
Yeah, but the needs of the listening public.
I'm sorry, guys.
The needs of the many outweigh the needs of the one. Okay, Mr. Money, why didn't you quote Rachel Khan to her and tell her that the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few?
Sorry, guys.
It's okay. So the momentousness of July the 1st. Okay. So all of this stuff happens in history, but yesterday, if you were alive yesterday watching and listening to the show, or any other show, then you're going to be a page, if we survive that long, in an American history book 100 years from now. It's going to be, and on this day, on July the 1st, 2024, Supreme Court decision, Trump versus the United States, started the broadcast off, and I said, I want everyone listening and watching to this show to focus on Trump versus United States. Why is the United States in a legal proceeding against a former president? What, did he forget to pay the water bill? Did he not pay the utilities? What the hell's going on here? Well, again, 6-3 decision. Presidential immunity is in Chief Justice Roberts, and I'll read you the first page of the opinion. And Chief Justice Roberts' words, absolute, and is a secure of liberty. By the way, did I just hear a Hello Moto ringtone? Is that an old Motorola flip phone?
No.
Okay. I thought I just heard a Hello Moto. Those are either as old as I am, which I'm like as old as dirt here, or remember this. Okay. So what else happened yesterday? Big slime life, young thug, Judge Glanville recuses himself. So this is the case that we have been following. Now the tie to Trump is that Ashley Merchant is an attorney practicing in Fulton County. She represents the 19 defendants who aren't Donald Trump in the RICO case, the Fonnie Willis RICO case. And Ashley Merchant sees the attorney held in contempt of court for telling the judge, well, I know that you had a meeting with a potential star witness and I wasn't there. This is a violation of due process, and then he cites the Georgia law. Remember that we played you this entire fiasco about 6 weeks or 4 weeks ago, and then he tells the judge, so I'm moving for a mistrial because you met with prosecution and a witness and didn't invite us. You have to disclose this to us. My client is entitled to face his accuser, know who it is, etc., etc. Remember Judge Glanville going like, get that poop out of here. Get out of my court. Bailiff, I'm holding him in contempt. Lock him up. Throw him in jail. So who comes to his rescue? The Trump attorney, Ashley Merchant. Well, Ashley Merchant was in court yesterday, and Judge Glanville finally recused himself, as he should have. So little dominoes are starting to fall. I want to play here. Let's start off here. Oh, by the way, all of you please keep in your prayers and say a prayer, offer masses for the repose of the soul of our dear friend David Thomas Roberts, who we just had him as a guest on this show last Wednesday. The founder of Defiance Press, the founder of the Daily Defiance website that I am a contributor for now. The author of Purge on the Potomac and so many other books that we carry in the Founders Trading Post store. I was invited, David invited me back in 2011 for the rollout of Defiance Press when he launched it, and the first book that he wrote, which was Purge on the Potomac, was the sequel. I forget the name of the title of the first book, but he invited me to come to Houston for the big book rollout party, the launch of Defiance Press, and my friend Dwayne Stovall ran for the U.S. Senate in Texas and was running at the time. Dwayne came with me, so it was me and Dwayne and a couple of one of my friends from Madisonville. So I met David back in 2011. We had him on the show last Wednesday. There he is. And Sunday, apparently, he just dropped dead. He just died. We got the news from Daniel Miller of the Texas Nationalist Movement, who wrote out this with great sadness that I'm reporting to you that my friend, my dear friend David Thomas Roberts. So folks, we lost a really good guy yesterday. And when you think patriot, think a guy like David Thomas Roberts. Bit of money, we're going to drag a bit of money on the air in a little bit here. Remember, David was the one that came up with the idea, like, oh, you want to take statues of Confederate generals down to Texas? Well, guess what? We're not going to let you have that. We're going to buy the land. If we can't buy the land around it, we're going to buy a piece of property and then we're going to buy the statue from whatever municipality says it owns it, and we're going to take it, we're going to put it on the property that we're going to purchase, and we're not going to let you take it down. That's the kind of guy David Thomas Roberts was. And, in launching the Defiance Daily the other day, that tweet has 4 million views now. His tweet about is July 11th going to be a cataclysmic day in American history. So, the Trump Restoration unto him, oh God, the perpetual light shine upon me, rest in peace, amen. We lost a really good one on Sunday. David Thomas Roberts, rest in peace, brother. And I don't know the state or condition of his spiritual life. I'm not going to comment on it because I don't know. But I pray he's on the good side of the 4 final things. I really do. He was a dear, dear friend. Anytime I would ask him to come on the show, I would get back all capital letters with 10 exclamation points at the end. I love to be on the White Church show! And it was always the same with David. Just an enthusiastic guy, never even hinting that, no, we're going to win this. The Patriot good guys are going to beat these pinko commie bastards. The kind of attitude that David Thomas Roberts had. No, we're in this to win. Which is why I want to play for you Steve Bannon. So let's start with digital media file number 1. So this is outside the jail. This is in the presence of the Irish Catholic priest who was there, who then, and apparently Bannon didn't know the priest. But the priest says the St. Michael prayer and says the St. Michael priest guard and protect this man in his prison. And so this is what it sounded like.
I'm going to prison today. I am proud to go to prison. If this is what it takes to stand up to tyranny, if this is what it takes to stand up to the Garland, corrupt, criminal DOJ, if this is what it takes to stand up to Nancy Pelosi, if this is what it takes to stand up to Joe Biden, I'm proud to do it.
Bravo.
Father, can you say a few words?
I'm not authorized to talk to the media.
You're not?
No.
Well, thank you for coming.
I agree with your positions, and I'll be praying for you. I'm in the Saving Nations Retreat House, 15 minutes away.
You are?
Yeah, I'll get you whatever you need.
Father, don't pray for me. Pray for our enemies.
Yeah.
Right? Pray. They're the ones who are going to need the prayers. Thank you, Father.
Saint Michael the Archangel, defend us in battle. Be our protection against the wickedness and the snares of the devil. May God rebuke him, we humbly pray. And do thou, Prince of the heavenly host, by the power of God, cast into hell Satan and all evil spirits who wander through the world seeking the ruin of souls. Amen. Ave Maria Purissima. God bless you.
Amen, Father. Amen. By the way, Steve Bannon is a recent returnee to the faith. He signed himself. He bowed his head. He was humble and contrite. Steve Bannon, political hero. Yeah, I think so. Play the perp walk now, Maggie. This is what it sounded like. Hey, okay, so Steve goes and checks himself in at the front desk. And I truly do think that this is a day. This is almost like Mitt Romney. This is almost with Trump and Bannon yesterday, almost like a Nathan Hale moment. Remember Nathan Hale said, "I only have one regret, that I only have one life to give for my country." And there's a Navy ship, right? The USS Nathan Hale.
Yes, there is.
Yeah, there's a Navy. There's a ship named after him. You'll watch the clip, you're going to see that they completely embarrassed and humiliated. Now, maybe this is policy. Some prison guards probably listening going, okay, good, we handcuff everyone that we're bringing to jail. Okay, all right. Is it necessary? He's not a flight risk.
He turned himself in.
He turned himself in. So here is Bannon being led in handcuffs into the jail, the federal pen in Connecticut.
For every conservative American, this is what happens in the last days of a dying regime. They will never shut me up, not to kill me first. I have not yet begun to fight.
This is what happens in the final days of a bad regime. They will not shut me up, and I have not yet begun to fight. Well, let me tell you something. Yesterday in the Supreme Court, there was a major victory for the Trump campaign and for President Donald J. Trump. Basically, everything Trump has been saying on the campaign trail was validated yesterday by the court. And in the court's decision in Trump versus United States. Here, let me read to you. This is from the court's decision. I'm trying to blow this up, so I'm going to put my spectacles on. October term 2023. Supreme Court of the United States, syllabus Trump versus United States. Do you have the link? I sent you the link, didn't I? Well, I want to give you the link so that it's in the signal chat, so that they can follow along and watch this on the video. A federal grand jury, this is what the court wrote in part. It's 120 pages. Obviously, you're not going to get 120 pages. You get 1.5. A federal grand jury indicted former President Donald J. Trump on 4 counts for conduct that occurred during his presidency following the November 2020 election. The indictment alleged that after losing that election, Trump conspired to overturn it by spreading knowingly false claims of election fraud to obscure fraud to obstruct the collecting, counting, and certifying of the election results. Trump moved to dismiss the indictment based on presidential immunity, arguing that a president has absolute immunity from criminal prosecution for actions performed within the outer perimeter of his official responsibilities, and that the indictment's allegations fell within the core of his official duties. The district court denied Trump's motion to dismiss, holding that former presidents do not possess federal criminal immunity for any acts. The D.C. Circuit Court affirmed. Now, again, these are all Biden henchmen here. These are all Democrat-placed judges, okay? Basically doing the Banana Republic bidding of the senile, scowling, screaming, angry, hateful old bastard that is sitting at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. If he's sitting there today. I mean, is he there? We don't even know where he is. He was here last night. Again, 4 minutes. They doped him up so he could give 4 minutes and throw a public hissy fit over this and basically tell Americans that the Supreme Court is not to be obeyed. It is an institution that is now corrupt. It's in the hands of Trump. Imagine this guy's not even president. Supposedly he controls the House of Representatives and he controls the court now. I mean, the dude is St. Martin of Tours on steroids. He bilocates. For you. The district court denied Trump's motion to dismiss, holding that former presidents do not possess federal criminal immunity for any acts. Now, this was the grind. No, Mr. Trump, you don't get immunity for anything you've ever done in the entirety of your life, including everything you did during your 4 years as president. Meaning, when we're done with this, you watch what we're going to do. We're never gonna stop coming after you and your little MAGA buddies and your little MAGA gang. Both the D.C. court, the district court, and the D.C. court declined to decide whether the indicted conduct involved official acts. And then the court says held. Under our constitutional structure of separated powers, the nature of presidential power entitles a former president to absolute immunity from criminal prosecution for actions within his conclusive and preclusive constitutional authority. And he is entitled to at least presumptive immunity from prosecution for all his official acts. There is no immunity for unofficial acts. In other words, if he takes a gun and goes and robs a liquor store while he's president, you can prosecute him for grand theft, armed robbery, or whatever the case may be. If he has a meeting with a diplomat or with an attorney general or a governor or a state representative or anything that he does in his official capacity as I'm acting as Donald J. Trump, President of the United States, he is immune from prosecution. Blanket, total, and complete immunity. They continue. This case is the first criminal prosecution in our nation's history of a former president for actions taken during his presidency. determining whether and under what circumstances such a prosecution may proceed requires careful assessment of the scope of presidential power under the Constitution. The nature of that power requires that a former president have some immunity from criminal prosecution for official acts during his tenure in office, at least with respect to the president's exercise of his core constitutional powers. The immunity must be absolute. As for his remaining official actions, he is entitled to at least presumptive immunity. And then you get into the wherefores and whys and all that. Article 2 of the U.S. Constitution vests executive power and the President of the United States. The President has duties of unrivaled gravity and breadth, and then there's other narrative here. If you read forward and you get to Justice Thomas and Justice Alito's concurring opinions, Thomas and Alito bring something else up. And we were talking about this in our show prep. Do you want to tilt that camera down a little bit? We were talking about this in our show prep today. Okay. What is this special counsel, special prosecutor? You know, they think we're all stupid and that all of us have no memory of the past or the recent past. So, or that the past doesn't matter because all history began when Obama was elected. How many of you remember the name Kenneth Starr? You remember Kenneth Starr, Men of Money? Mrs. O'Connell, you just watched that documentary about Clinton. Kenneth Starr. What was Judge Starr brought in to do in 1996, right? 1997. He was brought in to investigate whether or not President Clinton had lied and had obstructed justice and had perjured himself, number one, in his deposition with Paula Jones, and number two, did he get Monica Lewinsky and whoever else was involved in this, did he try to get them to break laws to cover up the affair that he was having with Miss Lewinsky, right? And so Judge Starr is brought in. Well, wait a minute, there's another part of the process. Congress passed a statute. There was a resolution that there should be an independent counsel, what they call it, the IC's office. An independent counsel should look into this. Congress specifically said, minimum, that the Attorney General shouldn't be the guy to do it because he's too close to the President. That there should be a special, separate and apart counsel that will be appointed, and then he will be confirmed as an officer of the United States by the U.S. Senate, and then he has special prosecutorial powers, okay? This happened one other time with a special prosecutor named Lawrence Walsh. So there was twice that Congress acted, twice they made resolutions, twice special counsels or special prosecutors, whatever you want to call them, were brought in to look into the executive actions of President Bush and President Clinton. In both instances, there was an act of Congress, it was the will of the people, the legislature. This is confirmed by the executive, and then the United States Senate concurs in confirming the special prosecutor. Okay. Why does that matter? Biden gets his henchman, Merrick Garland, to create the Office of Special Counsel. Big difference from Congress creating the office. Biden then tells Garland, pick whoever you think will get the most, that can prosecute Trump the best. So he chooses this lunatic, this deranged, bug-eyed, he doesn't have bug eyes, Jack Smith. So he and then Smith, under Garland's authority, I'm going to explain a little bit more about that in a moment. Smith, under Garland's authority, then begins the prosecution of former President Trump. Now, what's missing here? Two things that are missing here that you need to know. And no one else is going to tell you this in broadcast media, but I will tell you this. Two things are missing. Number one, where's the will of Congress? Why didn't Congress act? Why didn't Pelosi pass a resolution authorizing an office of special counsel? That's one. Two, why was Smith never presented as an officer of the United States, as the Constitution says all officers of the United States have to be confirmed by the United States Senate. So you have no will of Congress and you have no confirmation. So Justice Alito brings this up. Now this is the end of the world. You listen to the leftards out there. This is the end of this is the end of the human race here. We're all going to get killed now. Trump's going to nuke all of us. He's going to stick all of his goons on everyone in the world now that he has a beef with because of what Alito and Thomas both write in their concurring opinions that we're not even sure that this case ever should have gone forward. We think that you should have to go back. We should be investigating why the Biden regime didn't follow the Constitution in appointing an officer of the United States to prosecute President Trump. That is all contained in this opinion here. Oh, but folks, play the lunatic who's crying into their weak tea, reading Sonia Sotomayor's dissent and all this. I mean, folks, you want to hear whiny, geeky violin music here? Coming up, we'll get to it.
Follow the 2024 campaigns but don't have the time? Then catch the Crusade Channel's Campaign 2024 report with Magdalene Rose every weekday mornings at 7, 9, and 11 a.m. Eastern, exclusively on CrusadeChannel.com.
In the beginning, there was beer, and man saw that beer was good. And man said,
wouldn't 6 of these packaged together be even better?
Then man created the six-pack and saw that it was good. Next, man invented the cigar, and man saw that the cigar was good. And man said,
let's pack them up in boxes of 25.
Then man...
25? What was wrong with 6?
Announcing an idea whose time has come. MB Fuma Off the Boat Cigars. Now in 6-pack and 4-pack samplers. Right alongside Manchupi and Maria's cigars in singles and 4-pack samplers. On sale now at shopmikechurch.com. That's shopmikechurch.com. And this is supposed to be a 60-second tight spot. So one more time, shopmikechurch.com.
What's the best way to get rid of a timeshare that you don't want? Call the Timeshare Exit Hotline. We're a group of attorneys that help customers legally exit their timeshares. It's an easy process. We guarantee results or you pay nothing. Exit your timeshare today. Call now.
800-290-6705. 800-290-6705. That's 800-290-6705.
Broadcasting 50,000 kilowatts from atop the tallest radio tower on the planet. We are KRSD, the Crusade Channel, Madisonville.
Well, it's what our call letters would. The Crusade Channel, your news, talk, and midday show station. Fiorella De Maria lowers your blood pressure and chats with you over lunch. Lunch, talk, and chat radio is live, noon Eastern, on CrusadeChannel.com.
Hi, I'm Magdalene Rose with today's Crusade Radio Network campaign report. For Tuesday, July 2nd, 2024, here's what's happening today. Joe Biden on Monday condemned the Supreme Court's decision which ruled that presidents have an absolute immunity from prosecution for core official acts and issued a stern warning over a possible second term for former President Donald Trump. Longtime Trump ally Steve Bannon was taken into custody on Monday after surrendering at a federal prison to begin a 4-month sentence on contempt charges for defying a subpoena in the congressional investigation into the U.S. Capitol attack. High-ranking Republicans in Congress have requested information from the North Carolina State Board of Elections regarding its decision to deny ballot access to several third parties. It seems that Biden is on the warpath against the Supreme Court. This is the Crusade Radio Network, talk radio and car giveaways the way they should be.
At the start of the American Revolution, the Founding Fathers had to answer the question of what kind of government they wanted to live under. Today's patriots are asking the same question, and many think that Confederation needs to be rethought for the 21st century. Now, Ben Franklin helped the Patriots' cause with his Join or Die drawing. Well, I've taken that drawing and changed it to Secede or Die and put it beautifully on t-shirts and sweats. Grab a Secede or Die shirt in any size today at shop.mikechurch.com.
Did you know it took centuries to develop the Hail Mary prayer? First, the monastics began adding, Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with you, to the end of their psalm readings. Later, Blessed art thou among women, and blessed is the fruit of thy womb, Jesus, was added. And by the 15th century, the Hail Mary was complete and took the place of the 150 Our Fathers many prayed daily. Today, the work of art that is the Rosary is cherished by millions, and there is no finer maker of this art than Maggie O'Connell's Little Bayou Rosary. Find her rosary creations today at shop.mikechurch.com.
Attention Coffee Police Academy students. We will now call the roll. CPA candidate Jones.
Present.
Joe Arabica Friday.
Present.
Tommy.
Oh, I'm here, sir. I just can't seem to keep my eyes open since I started drinking this Barrett Bargain Basement Stale Bean Water.
And just why are you violating CPA coffee code SPW1AM?
Well, that's easy. So I can save up money to get into the Coffee Cop Academy.
Son, breaking CPA rules so you can get into CPA is no way to become a coffee cop. Now, I am afraid we're going to have to...
Uh-oh. Sounds like Lou has found the academy, and he's on his second cup of Abbey Roast.
Well, what does he want?
He wants to know why the CPA didn't recognize his Rougarou nouns.
Rougarou nouns? And I'm the one that rejected his application.
Will Lou the Roo Guru have his revenge and grind the coffee cop into espresso? Stay tuned to this station for our next episode. And in the meantime, order Abbey Roast Coffee at shop.mikechurch.com.
Hello, Crusaders. I'm Janet Huxley at the Crusade Radio Network News Desk with your Crusade Crucials for Tuesday, July the 2nd, 2024. This report is brought to you by the Golden Truth Ticket Sweepstakes. Listen to the Crusade Radio Network for your chance to win a brand new 2024 Kia Sportage. For tickets, go to crusadechannel.com/golden and hurry. Today is your last day. In the market report, all three major indexes were up at last close. The Dow Jones 0.13%, the S&P 0.27%, NASDAQ is up 0.83%. In National Day calendar news, just a couple for you today. The first one is it's National Anisette Day, and that is recognizing a liqueur derived from aniseed on National Anisette Day. Aniseed is from the anise herb and gives its licorice or fennel flavor. While usually a dry liqueur, distillers sometimes add a sugar syrup for a sweeter result. It's also National Wildland Firefighter Day, honoring those who protect the nation's wildlands. Every year, wildfires burn millions of acres across the United States. Our quote of the day, you will accomplish more by kind words and a courteous manner than by anger or sharp rebuke, which should never be used except in necessity. Saint Angela Merici. And today we remember the story of the visitation of the Blessed Virgin Mary. You're listening to Crusade Radio Network News.
Attention coffee lovers! Our Capuchin Dark Roast is now in its 6th year as Crusade Channel listeners' favorite coffee. Grab a bag of whole bean or ground, fresh roasted goodness today and take advantage of flat rate shipping and shop for all our coffees at shop.mikechurch.com.
Listen up, maggots! Every time you buy a book at Scamazon, Jeff Bezos gets money to add to his army of Terminator robots!
I don't like them putting chemicals in the water. I don't like...
And And welcome back. It's the Mike Church Show on the Crusade Radio Network. We are live at Bulldog Kia on the Athens Atlanta Highway, kind of like in the B-52 song, On the Atlanta Highway in Athens, Georgia. And the Kia Sportage is right out that door, and then to the left that we are going to give away in just about 15 minutes here. Can you pan the camera so we can get a shot of the giant barrel here? You can see the end of it, kind of. The giant barrel has 836 tickets in it. There it is. So for all of you watching at home on the YouTube and whatever else you're watching on, that is the giant barrel. Kayla Colonel is going to come in here in about 5-10 minutes. And we're going to give this guy a spin. She's going to reach in and pull one Golden Truth ticket out. When she pulls that ticket out, we are then going to place it into an envelope. We're not going to look at it. We're not going to look at the number or anything. It's going to be told blind. You're going to see it right here. So there's no questions, no one, no accusations of impropriety. That the whole thing was rigged. No, it wasn't rigged. We're going to put it into the Golden Truth ticket envelope. And then here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to send to Ms. O'Connor. You can print this out because it has the Golden Truth ticket logo on this page here. We'll fold the page in half. We'll take the sides down. That's going to be the envelope that's going to hold the ticket that we're going to give to the branch truck driver, who's sitting outside with the armed guards out there with rifles slung and the attack dogs, and there's Mike the Tiger out there. The thing is going to be guarded. No one's getting to the ticket. So once we pull the ticket, it's going to be completely under lock and key. And then we will pull 4 more tickets in the next segment. Those will be runner-ups. And then we will start announcing the winner. And the final hour in the 9 a.m. Eastern time, that's 8 a.m. Eastern time, or Central Time hour of the program here. So all that is coming here in just a moment here on the Crusade Radio Network. If you didn't get a Golden Truth ticket, well, there's always next year. There's always next year. It will, provided that we are still here, and that's the whole purpose of the Golden Truth ticket contest. All right, so that's all going to happen. Everybody's here. Your ticket is in here. You're watching it. Your ticket is in, or your tickets. Who's the leader in the clubhouse? Is it Miles P? So Miles P has 22. Because I know Tom H has 15, and he donated all his to the St. Benedict Center.
Still Miles.
So Miles P is the leader in the clubhouse with 22 Golden Truth tickets. So he has a better than 1 in 836 chance.
Miles H.
Oh, Miles H. I'm sorry, Miles H. It's Miles P. It's Miles P.H. is what it is. So all that is coming up. Very exciting here. The Sportage, if you haven't seen it, what a car.
I put pictures in the chat room.
So the pictures are in the chat room because people like the pictures. Let's put that soundbite we were talking about last hour here. This is some of the aftermath now. The Scarlett's decision. This is an amazing thing to me. Mr. Colonel and I were talking about this yesterday. The American Communist Party, the Democratic Party, the American left that hates you and hates me and hates him and hates her and would kill all of us given the opportunity, has gotten almost everything that they have achieved federally through the courts. You got your porn legalized. You got baby killing legalized. You kicked God out of the schools in prayer, made that illegal. They call it the Miranda. No one should ever call this. Your Miranda rights. Miranda was a scumbag, recidivist criminal who was used by the American Civil Liberties Union, those pinko commie America hating bastards, was used to undermine the processing criminals and obtaining evidence and confession out of them. Called you have your Miranda warning, or your Miranda rights. They call it your Miranda rights. No one should ever, nothing good should be attached to the proper name Miranda. But the point being, at every step of the devolution, we have liberty and it's going down. You have communism and it's going up. You have God being part of the public life and it's going down. You have Satan, or the rejection of God, going up. At every step of this process here, the Democrat Party used the courts to get their way. No legislatures passed baby killing in 1973. None. Now, it is true that the state of California did have the first in the nation exception rule, if you will, for rape and incest in life of the mother. Now that came from California. It was the only legislature acting, and ironically, Ronald Wilson Reagan is the governor of California that signed it. No legislatures acted. Roe became, as Biden likes to say, the law of the land. So the point being, every major social upheaval that the Democrat Party claims as a victory has come through the courts, and primarily through the Supreme Court. Now, what happens all of a sudden when the Supreme Court gets justice on it and go like, I don't think the Constitution actually says that. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that that's the state's prerogatives, or I didn't find that in the due process clause in the 14th Amendment, sorry. What happens when the courts start undoing this? The Chevron doctrine, for instance. The left are losing their minds over this. That bureaucracies and unelected bureaucrats can make laws and rules for me and him to have to live by. Who would be opposed to this? You're going to ask yourself the question, well, why would someone be opposed to this? Why, for example, would you be opposed to the process by which I laid out for you last hour in the U.S. Constitution, where all officers of the United States must be appointed by the chief executive, the president, and they must be confirmed? Why would you oppose that? This is the proverbial check and balance. This is the process by which one man just can't do it. You see, okay? Supposing we're against monarchy and we're against people, kings and individual men just running the show here. Well, how come Biden wants to do it then? The irony of all this is that the authority that Merrick Garland has, just in the Trump case, does not come from the Attorney General's office. The Attorney General's office is not mentioned, not called for in the United States Constitution. I've been over this 1,000 times. Use the Civics 101 lesson. Roy Katie's up here. Attorney General of the United States is not an office that is mentioned in the Constitution. Therefore, it's not necessary. You can have one, but you don't have to have one. Well, how do you get one? The president has to appoint it. How is he then made official? The Senate has to confirm. Why would an inferior office who is going to take that power that the Attorney General has and is going to vest it in himself in what's called a special counsel, why would that person not then have to be appointed by the president and then confirmed by the Senate? Do we have an envelope?
Use this one.
Yeah, but that's not a golden truth envelope. Okay. That's what we have. So all of this. So play the soundbite that we were going to play. Then we'll bring Kaylee in. We'll spin the wheel, and then we will make somebody really, really happy. And the owner of a brand new 2024 Kia Sportage EX.
Decision along what looked to the American public like partisan line, 6 Republican appointed justices siding with Trump, 3 Democratic appointed justices siding against Trump. And it is a momentous major decision. And I want to read to you from what Justice Sotomayor says at the end of her dissent, because I've never seen language like this in a Supreme Court opinion. She says, quote, never in the history of our republic has a president had reason to believe he'd be immune immune from criminal prosecution if he used the trappings of his office to violate the criminal law. Moving forward, however, all former presidents will be cloaked in such immunity. If the occupant of that office misuses official power for personal gain, the criminal law that the rest of us must abide will not provide a backstop. And here's how she ends her dissent, Katie, with fear for our democracy. Picture here is this is a...
No, not a fear for our... But then I tell her...
No, it says, with fear for our democracy, I dissent.
With fear for our democracy, I dissent. I'm so scared. Orange Man Bad is coming to get me in my dreams. That like Trump is Freddy Krueger. Okay. We'll come back to this. That's for the moment you've all tuned in here for. Make sure you focus in on that, not me, so I don't get accused. All right.
Spin it a couple of times and pick one ticket. One ticket and put it in there.
Hands here on this, so that look, my hands are here.
All right,
See my hands?
Here we go.
See Ted and all you watching? See my hands? They're over here now. They're out of the picture. All right, Money, go. That's a lot of tickets. 836. All right, now, Kayla, when you pull it out, don't look at it. Just.
It doesn't have a name on it. It's just a number.
One
Just
just
a number.
popped out, so.
Hey, you gotta show her. What do you? Okay.
What do you think I'm doing? All right, hand it to me.
Sealed. I can't see the envelope. Sealed.
All right.
Thank you, Kayla.
Thank you,
So next time
Caleb.
we'll come back and we'll do 4 more.
4 more?
4 more.
Yep.
Okay.
So at 8, that's what, 9?
9:15, yeah. The lovely daughter of Mid Colonel. So Monday, did you have any tickets in here?
Yes, he does.
You touched it.
And he just
You
touched
cheated.
the
You
outside.
cheated.
He touched the outside.
You did
Don't
it.
say that,
You
because
did
he
it.
does
You know, in the signal chat group, if I get accused of any impropriety, I'm gonna.
I was
it's all on this guy right here.
videoing my hands, so.
All right, where's the envelope? Okay. So this is what has. So now we began this on Monday, June the what was it? Okay, why? You have to divulge. Oh, you know who it is?
No, it's sealed. Sealed. It's sealed.
Sealed. Better money. Put that back in the hopper there. So there won't be any question as to what. Okay, it's going back in the hopper. There it goes. Now spend it so everybody can see.
Why would you?
Everybody.
There it is. Okay, everybody can see. The envelope is in there with the ticket in it. That is the Willy Wonka Golden Truth ticket. There it is. Okay. 844-527-8723. So we began this. I have to keep pushing my computer further and further away.
I had to zoom in from there.
You know what? Bill O'Reilly is here. Bill O'Reilly is here.
We'll do it live. Okay. No. We'll do it live.
So we started on Monday, June, was it the 3rd? I want to say it was Monday, June the 3rd. We started this contest here and started giving the tickets away on air. And then we ended it obviously yesterday. Midnight was the last time you could buy a ticket, 836 in total. So you missed it. We spun the barrel. Kayla pulled the ticket out, put it into the envelope, and we put it back into the barrel. So that's your winner right there. That's whoever gets this car is sitting right there.
That's it.
Did you get my
That's the
text?
big one. No, I didn't.
There's something messed up with the audio on the YouTube feed. It's like echoing. When he's on, it's echoing, but when he cut away to something like a soundbite,
yeah, we don't.
Then it's perfect. But when he's talking and the camera's on him, it's echoing.
You know what? I actually may know. In any event, 844-527. There it is. The echo's gone. 844-527-8723. The call in line telephone number. You know, the software, when the computer crashed this morning, the software got reset, and it reset the stupid audio, which I didn't check because we're live here. So the echo is gone. So all of you can stop complaining and noting that there's an echo. There wasn't an echo. It was me going through the camera. Is the camera audio, which I hope we didn't have any untoward conversations off the when we were in the break, because if we did, okay. Back to the issues of the day here. Play the Biden speech from last night. Now, why does the president feel compelled to go and make a presidential address, or whatever the hell he called it, and cite that the Supreme Court is out of line here? I mean, do these people not even, have they never heard of the supposed separation of powers here? I mean, this is, you talk about something that's unprecedented. This
nation was founded on.
Well, I could tell it was him because he was slurring. All right.
This nation was founded on the principle that there are no kings in America. Each of us is equal before the law. No one is above the law, not even the President of the United States. With today's Supreme Court decision on presidential immunity, that fundamentally changed.
No, it didn't.
It didn't. For all practical purposes, today's decision almost certainly means that there are virtually no limits on what a president can do. This is a fundamentally new principle, and it's a dangerous precedent, because the power of the office will no longer be constrained by the law, even including the Supreme Court of the United States. The only limits will be self-imposed by the president alone.
Not true, and not true. First of all, yes.
First of all, we just need to note that Biden is a lot oranger today.
Yeah, how did he become so
Last
orange?
night, he stepped into a spray tan. Big time.
So he went to Fox News, and they did his makeup, and then went back to Washington.
Yeah.
Because they are experts. Fox News people, spray tan experts. What has fundamentally changed here? There's a fundamentally changed. The presidency. Oh, so this is really good news for you, Joe. Now you can run the Biden crime family without worrying about having to be prosecuted for any of the criminal acts that you and your crackhead son, your crack whore chasing crackhead son, Hunter Biden, and your brother James might commit while you're in office, or while you're in possession of the vice presidency, or while you're now in possession of as being the regime leader. Joe, you get off scot-free. This is what Trump told him in the debate Thursday night. Joe, if the immunity is not awarded, Joe, you could be prosecuted, okay? You could be a convicted felon, Joe, a convicted felon. This could be you, Joe, could be you. You accuse me of being a convicted felon all you want, Joe, but this could be you. Well, now, Joe, you should be happy because it's not going to be you. If your interpretation of it, president can't walk into, again, let's use the liquor store analogy here. President can't walk into a liquor store with a gun, rob it, take the cash out of the register, and then go run back to the White House and claim immunity. That's not what happened yesterday. What happened yesterday was when the President of the United States is executing a power that is delegated to him. This is something that I want everyone, because I know there are new people that are listening and are watching on YouTube and on the Crusade Radio Network across the amber waves of fuel out there and the amber waves of Biden's recavation. Let's go over a fundamental, you want a fundamental principle, Joe? Sit down in that chair right there and let me give you one. I was talking about the Office of the Attorney General. Show me in the U.S. Constitution where it says Attorney General of the United States. Go. I'm just going to sit here and wait for someone to come back to me and show me where it says Attorney General of the United States. Show me Commerce Secretary. Go. Show me Treasury Secretary. Go. Show me Joint Chiefs of Staff. Show it to me. Where is it? You know what clause it in? Is it in what was that woman from? What was her name? The one who talked about, well, it's in the good and plenty clause.
What the hell was the good and plenty? What was her name? It wasn't Maxine Waters. Oh, I can't remember. It'll come to me in a moment. The good and plenty clause. What the hell's the good and plenty clause? Show me Babadook Buttigieg, butt plug Pete. Show me Secretary of Transportation. Go. Show it to me. Where is it? Okay. Silly exercise, you think. Well, come on, Mike. This is really, you're wasting airtime. We're busy people. We have things to do. Why do I bring that up? The president, Article 2, vests in the executive presidency all of the powers that I just mentioned to you. All of them. When he appoints an attorney general, he does so because he has that authority. Does everyone, Mr. Colonel, you understand this, you get this. It's his authority. He's delegating it to his officer of the United States, as it says in Article 2 of the Constitution. So he is creating an officer, an official, okay? This is important now. You people out there need to get this. So when he creates an officer, what's the next step, Mr. Mundy? It has to go to the Senate, and he has to be confirmed. This is to prevent what Biden just is accusing Trump of, who's not even in the White House. The guy's not even the president. Again, he's Satan and Martin of Tours on steroids. He bilocates Trump. He runs the Congress, and then he runs the Supreme Court from the same location. The guy's really, really talented. So an officer of the United States then has to be appointed. The president appoints. He sends the appointment over to the Senate, and the Senate does what? They have a confirmation hearing. Now, there's an argument actually to be made about Article 3, about the justices and the confirmation hearings. You don't have to have hearings. I've heard Kevin Gutzman, the constitutional genius scholar, make this argument before. Prior to late 1910, there were no hearings on Supreme Court justices. The president nominated. The Senate either voted yay or nay. There was no instance where they ever voted nay. So president nominates, the Senate confirms. Merrick Garland was confirmed by the U.S. Senate as Attorney General, meaning he is discharging a power that belongs to Joseph Robinette Biden. End of story. It ends right there. There's no more discussion. So anything that Garland does, he's doing on Biden's behalf, which is when someone said, oh, this is Merrick Garland doing this to this. This is all Garland's doing. No, it can't be. It's Biden's doing. Biden can call him up tomorrow morning going, I want you to drop that case. Stop that prosecution. Treasury Secretary, any other secretary, Joint Chief of Staff, they don't have any authority on their own. They only get it from the executive. Now, if everyone understands this, and if you get this, then you now know that then the president is not supposed to be. Our framers were pretty smart guys. They left a system there in place to where you wouldn't have a strong-armed, tin-horn dictator. Oh, wait, until a guy named Biden comes along. And then you do have a strong-armed, tin-horn dictator. What an irony that he was complaining about it, because it's him that he was talking about.
And welcome back to the Mike Church Show on the Crusade Radio Network on a very historic 2nd of July, 2024. We are live at the Bulldog Kia dealership on the Atlanta Highway in Athens, Georgia. The Golden Truth ticket has been pulled. It is in the golden hopper here. It is sealed, and we will open the envelope at the end of the program. With about 20 minutes to go, we will open the envelope up and reveal the ticket number and then who owns that ticket number. There are 4 runner-up prizes, and we will pull them next hour and start relaying those winners, which will be kind of anticlimactic for some people, especially if you bought one ticket and I call your name and I give you a coffee mug. It's not going to be a great day for you because you're going to be going like, oh, man. But you're all winners out there. 836 Golden Truth tickets sold. Smashing and shattering the record of 676 previously. So 836 Golden Truth tickets sold. Didn't get to the 1,000, but that's close enough and good enough for government work. So a fantastic promotion. Thanks to all of you who participated in it, and to so many of you that bought so many extra tickets. And do we have a count on how many purchasers? Because usually in the past it's been like 175, 180 to buy 600 and some odd tickets. I'd be curious to know if 53 Ford truck is out there listening. Hey, okay, big, okay, we do have the number. What is it?
368.
368 unique buyers. Dude, that's double. That's not a percentage increase. That's double the amount from last year, from 2023. That's double the amount of purchasers. So 300, and wow, that's a lot. So in any event, thanks for making this such an amazing and wonderful promotion. First thing I'm going to do is, what did I say I was going to buy? An extension cord. First thing I'm going to do with the proceeds is buy an extension cord and put it in that barrel, that tub over there. So next time I come somewhere, I can string 20 feet from across the room. And we're laden with cables around here. Anyone who makes the wrong move, the whole thing goes to crap. Because somebody's going to trip over and it's going to pull the socket out of the wall. It's going to pull the power strip out of the wall. All right. I want to go back and I want to talk, continue on the subject of the SCOTUS here. Should we hear more slandering Biden? Let's do digital media file number 5. For all of you watching here, so Biden comes out like, no, about the law. You are, Joe. You're above the law. You know, I told you people that they offered Hunter up as tribute. This is literally the Hunger Games. Biden is literally President Snow. Hunter was offered up as tribute to say that, see, the justice system is fair. Even a Biden can be convicted. We're not sure what is going to be the result of that conviction. Does Hunter get sentenced to jail? Does he get an ankle bracelet put on him? But you have to try and make it look fair, right?
We all know he didn't have to go to prison for contempt because he didn't show up for Congress.
Oh, that's right.
Remember?
Right. Why isn't Hunter in the cell next to Steve Bannon? Right. That's right. So here is Creepy Joe last night. Again, you were talking about unprecedented things. These people don't want to surrender power. They're the ones. You know, I have this thing that we talk about all the time, and that is projection. When you do the Crossroads deal, okay? For those of you that don't know, you know what the Crossroads deal is? The Crossroads deal is when you decide you're going to make a deal with the devil, that you want unlimited power and financial resources, wealth, fame, everything. You go to the Crossroads. It's in Mississippi. It's a gravel road, and it's an actual crossroads. There's a little bar there. You don't actually have to go to that crossroad, but you go to the crossroad, and you get a Altoids box, and you put a piece of hair or whatever, something from your body, and then a promissory note basically saying, I wish to sell my soul to the devil. Here's what I want. And then the demon will either appear and will grant you your wish, or it will just happen. But regardless, you get a certain amount of time. It's usually 10 years or 20 years, in decades. You get a certain amount of time, and then you die, and he gets your soul. Okay, so so people that make the Crossroads deal also agree that because what's the first sin? Pride. So out of the sin of pride, when you agree to take the Crossroads deal, you have to tell the world what you are doing. You can project it onto someone else. They'll let you do that. So this is why, if you've ever wondered, why do they always accuse us of doing the things that they actually do? It's projection. It's part of the deal. If you take the Crossroads deal, you have to tell the world what you're doing. You have to confess to the sin, to the evil. You have to fess up to it, which is why they can accuse President Trump of all these things, because they're the ones that are actually doing it. Last night, all Biden did was 5 minutes of projection. And by the way, is that all the drugs that they have left now? Tell the story really quick before we play the soundbite. The Good Samaritan in Atlanta. Did you hear this? The guy was driving behind, what was it, a Penske rental truck. And he's driving behind this Penske rental truck, and the gate door, right, the pull-down door, is open about this much, about 6 inches. And he can see what looks to him like a human body and a hand. Was a hand, right? A hand. And it's not moving. It's just bouncing as the truck hits things, okay? And he's driving, and he calls 911. He goes, there's something really weird going on here. I'm driving behind this truck. I can see a human hand, and it looks like it's dead. I don't know if this guy's hauling a body around or what's going on here, but he wanted to call it in. So he called, I guess, the state police or the Atlanta Police Department, or who, I think it was the state police. He called.
He just called 911, and they got him in touch with the local police, and then state troopers came.
Okay, so then they were like, where are you, sir? And he's like, well, I'm on the 465 or whatever one of the loop is, or where. So he's so they catch up to him, and they pull the Penske truck over. Guess what it's filled with? Immigrant children, migrant children. It's a van full of sex trafficking. So they were trafficking these kids. And the one whose hand you could see was just knocked out just from exhaustion and dehydration and what have you here. So this is in Atlanta. This is last week, right? So was it 2 weeks ago? So the point being here is that human trafficking is alive and well. It is being perpetrated for all of you to go, yay, migrants, we love migrants. You know what your migrants are being used for? You know what those children that cross the border are being used for? They're being used as sex slaves. They're being used as slave labor as well. And they're impressed almost immediately into service. That van is proof. Wait, how many were there? 18?
There were 12 total, and the youngest was 6.
6-year-olds, dude. A 6-year-old child was being trafficked in a Penske Rider van, 95-degree heat in Atlanta, Georgia, no ventilation in that van, and it hadn't been for that Good Samaritan who was conscious and going like, hey, there's something wrong with this. And the cops were like patting the guy on the back and said, thank you, sir. You're a good citizen. You see, there's still good left in America, but the point being here, for those of you that know, the children are sex trafficked, and they are trafficked, number one, for the sex, and number two, to scare the crap out of them because something is then extracted from them. We won't say it because it doesn't play well on TV. But Biden is a frequent user, and so are almost all of these people who take the Crossroads deal. And Jim Caviezel, the actor, has talked about this publicly many, many times. The movie, The Sound of Freedom, covers this. So apparently, though, they were only able to get a 5-minute booster dose to Joe last night. Play your digital media file number, what is that, number 5?
So this is 4 years ago, my predecessor sent a violent mob to the U.S. Capitol to stop the peaceful transfer of power. We all saw it with our own eyes. We sat there and watched it happen that day. Attack on the police, the ransacking of the Capitol, a mob literally hunting down the House Speaker, Nancy Pelosi. Gallows erected to hang the Vice President, Mike Pence. I think it's fair to say one of the darkest days in the history of America.
This guy is deranged.
Now the man who sent that mob to the U.S. Capitol is facing potential criminal conviction for what happened that day. And the American people deserve to have an answer in the courts before the upcoming election. The public has a right to know the answer about what happened on January 6th before they are asked to vote again this year. Now, because of today's decision, that is highly, highly unlikely. It's a terrible disservice to the people of this nation.
You want to explain why that's a terrible disservice? By the way, gallows, somebody drew a fake gallows. What were they going to use? Were they going to play a game of hangman with Mike Pence as the hangman? This entirety here, the American people deserve to know, how much more video do you need to see? How much more video is needed here? How much more evidence? How many more people have to be thrown into jail? 385? And what is 385 convictions thus far? By the way, almost all of them convicted under the Enron statute for obstruction, which the court ruled last Friday in the Fisher case, or in the Fisher case, just last Friday, that most of those convictions will now be thrown out. You're going to have to go back and you're going to have to redo those trials and actually convict those people on something that they actually did. 40,000 hours of videotape. We all know, we played you the clip yesterday of Alexandria Pelosi, Speaker Nancy Pelosi's daughter, of talking at a little forum that she was at when she was talking about the footage that she had shot on J6, and they were talking about the guy that was talking about how what crime was committed here, and the subject of Jacob Chansley came up, the shaman. Okay, the most famous of all the J6 people was Jacob Chansley, United States Navy, honorably discharged and retired. Why did Jacob Chansley go to the Capitol and to the J6 rally? Did he go to hang Mike Pence? Did he go to replace and usurp the government, install one of his own making? He went to take selfies. Jacob Chansley went to go take pictures. As a matter of fact, there's that very famous footage of Chansley being in the Senate chamber with the Capitol Hill cops standing there. He hands the cop his phone, and the cop takes a picture of Jacob Chansley with another officer. Does that sound like an insurrection or a rebellion to you? This is all they have, though. This is all Biden has to run on, folks, is fear. This is fear. This is, let me scare the bejesus belt out of you, because of that Trump guy. And I tell you, they picked the wrong dude, and they're tired of losing. Trump has to, if we had a Trump baseball card, the baseball card would be filled with the angry, ugly, defeated faces of Democrats on it. It'd be an awesome, somebody should actually make that a Trump baseball card. He just keeps beating them. Now, I think that Mitter Monday, throw that headset on for a second here. I think that there is a reason why he keeps beating them, and that's because he actually does play fair.
Well, that's an interesting concept. I never thought of it that way. They don't know how to deal with that.
They don't know how to deal with that. They only how to win. They only know how to steal things. They only know. David, you and I were talking, and your wife and Maggie were talking about this last night. These people hate him because they've never built or accomplished a damn thing in their entire lives. All they do is take from us, tax, regulate, steal from us. They are incapable of even understanding the process by which a tree is cut down, for heaven's sake. These people are so bereft of any talent skill, they can't open a pickle jar. Oh, jar of elastic pickles. Here, hand it to the assistant. Dude, how do you open that? Can you see Biden staring at a jar of plastic pickles going like, oh, how do you operate this thing?
Are you suggesting they don't know why things work?
They don't know why things work. See that guy right there? They don't know why things work. They do not know why things work. We need to make a T-shirt that says, we all need to know why things work. You should have no, wait a minute. Now, Maggie, you have to settle with Midday Monday and Mr. Colonel in attendance as witnesses.
Why are you
After the Golden Truth Ticket contest this year, are you going back to being a people person?
I will shortly. It'll only take a few days before someone ruins it for me. But yes, for right now, I love people.
So temporarily, you're going to be a people person.
Yeah.
Until
I'm
someone
putting a pin in it.
until someone ruins it for you, and then you go back to wearing the T-shirt. I used to be a people person.
Exactly.
But people, well, no, it'll be a person.
It will. It usually is a person.
But what if it's a Democrat?
Well,
Okay, you have to give them a pass because they're going to do it by definition. All right. So Midday Monday. So they get into they don't know why things work. Tell the listening audience out there and the viewing audience on YouTube, why do people not? Why do we need to know? What's the purpose of knowing why, not how, why things work?
No, you want me to tell everybody where that comes from? Who don't know where it comes from? I use it at work all the time, especially when I have interns and stuff. Because when I get young engineering students paying $65,000 a year to go to college, and they've never heard the term to prime a pump.
So they look at a Vlasic pickle jar and they go, "How do you operate this thing?"
And they're being trained for this, supposedly. It comes from Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan. And if you remember when Khan almost has them beaten and he's waiting to take retribution on Kirk and the Enterprise. And the only thing Spock and Kirk have, the only thing we got left is the secret code, the code for each ship. And they're trying to program the code in to take over Khan's ship.
What is that code called? It's called
the prefix code.
The prefix code, that's what it is. What do you think? What are you thinking, Captain? The prefix code. He's very smart. He is a product of he is a product of late 20th century genetic engineering, which would have happened 25 years ago.
Well, hey, the timing's off a little bit.
Just a little bit.
But they're trying to do this, of course, to save the ship, which they end up doing. And young Lieutenant Savick is blankly staring at her panel while they're doing this.
The beloved Kirstie Alley, who died last year.
Yeah. So I don't understand. And Kirk turns and says to her, "You have to learn why things work on a starship.
Mr.
You have to learn why things work." And my wife says, "I don't understand that."
He said, "Mr. Savick, you need to know why things work on a starship." And so why things work. This is important. So why does Maggie, play digital media file number 6. We're going to round this discussion out with Biden here. And this unprecedented address to the nation last night of the horrors of an actual act of democracy. See, that's part of the thing I don't get. Why are they so afraid of you? El Rushbo used to say this, my broadcasting and media hero, and many of yours as well. El Rushbo used to say, and he said this about Trump before his first election in 2016. He said, "Folks, it's you that they fear. It's you that they hate, and it's you that they fear because you aren't one of them. You work. You accomplish things. You make things run. You build things. It's you." Because they don't understand it. They don't understand why things work. They don't understand why timber or stick framing holds the frame to your house. They don't understand any of this. But it's you that they really hate. And they hate you because you're not in their little club. Like George Carlin used to say, there's a big party going on, it's a big fancy dinner, and you're on the menu. You're not at the table, you're on the menu. Carlin was right. So here's Biden. The American people need to, wait a minute. You want them to render a decision on whether or not Trump should be president. Here you go.
So now the American people have to do what the courts should have been willing to do, but will not. The American people have to render a judgment about Donald Trump's behavior. The American people must decide whether Donald Trump's assault on our democracy on January 6th makes him unfit for public office in the highest office in the land. The American people must decide if Trump's embrace of violence to preserve his power is acceptable. Perhaps most importantly, the American people must decide if they want to entrust the president once again, the presidency, to Donald Trump, now knowing he'll be even more emboldened to do whatever he pleases whenever he wants to do it. So now
to be more emboldened to do whatever he pleases whenever he wants to do it. Yeah, because that's what Trump did. Because he did all of these things. Well, wait a minute. Why are you there? Well, how did you get there, Joe? Why didn't he like refuse to leave and surround the White House with the National Guard or whatever and do what you are accusing him that he's going to do? Or is it you and Jill are the ones that aren't going to leave? You're the one that's telegraphing what's going to happen. By the way, folks, that's a concession speech. That's I'm going to lose. Here's my concession. You people, to prevent me from losing, because right now I am a loser. Right now I am a loser. I'm going to lose. And if you don't stop him, he's going to win. That's a concession speech. That is an admission right there, straight up. Yeah, I think that this orange man bad guy is going to get into power. You know, we can't find. I really wanted to play. I asked Mike Parrott to find it, and he can't find it. He played it once, but we can't find it now. I really wanted to play for you guys this week the Agenda 47 soundbite. You have to hear the Agenda 47 soundbite. It is this hysterical leftard Karen losing her, almost said it, I almost said a body part. Yeah. Losing her, who was on the TV show, what was her name? Male, kiss my grits. Florence, what was her name? Flo.
Yeah.
The show was Alice. Was Alice, right? And Linda Lavin played Alice.
Mm-hmm.
What was the redhead's name with the fake hair? Male, kiss my grits.
Mm-hmm.
Well, this woman. Who?
Polly Holiday.
Polly Holiday. This woman was losing her grits over what Trump's going to do. He's going to make permanent these tax cuts. Oh, no, not that. I have news for you. I know someone that knows someone in the Trump campaign, high up. And I am told that the rumor is true that Bug Hall shared with me that Trump does plan somewhere at some point in time, if he is elected again as POTUS 47, he does plan to try and eliminate the IRS. It's not just the tips. The tips is the camel's nose under the tent. The withholding of taxes for the tips for the waitresses and all that. That's how you get in. And then you go in for the kill. And then the IRS, and I was telling Mr. Colonel, he said, we don't need the income tax. We absolutely do not need it. It's not a revenue generator. It's punishment. What you need is a fair system of duties, tariffs, and imposts. That's what you need. Tax goods that are coming into the United States. Foreign companies want to come here and do business. Man, bring them all in. But tax them. For the privilege of doing business in the United States, that's called a duty, basically. Yeah, but the American people have to pay. You can't have the. Do you want the income tax, or would you rather pay a duty on a Louis Vuitton purse, for example? Here, we're just about out of time for this segment here. Mike Church Show here on the Crusade Radio Network. Today's a big day. The 2024 Golden Truth ticket is going to be given away next segment. Where I'm going to pull that envelope out of there, and I'm going to tell you who's going to drive that car, and we're going to deliver it to your driveway here. So you're going to want to stay tuned. 4 runners up coming next segment as well. We will crown the winner of the 2024 Golden Truth ticket. Sweepstakes next segment here on the Crusade Radio Network. I had the tiger, Rock. I had the tiger. Final hour, the July the 2nd, 2024, Mike Church Show here on the Crusade Radio Network, Live Talk Radio, Campaign Radio, and car giveaways the way it should be. We are live at the Bulldog Kia dealership in beautiful downtown Athens, Georgia. And about 20 feet away from me, as the crow flies, is the 2024 Kia Sportage EX, which is going to be given away in about 40 minutes. We'll do it about 40 at the start of the last segment of the program. There's an envelope in this hopper barrel right here that a ticket was pulled about an hour ago by young Kayla Colonel. She didn't look at the ticket. She opened the envelope. She put the ticket in it. Maggie took the strip off of it, sealed the envelope, and put it back into the hopper. So that is how it happened, and it's sitting right there. So the winner of the Kia Sportage is already chosen. So we didn't do the final 64 tournament thing because it was determined that once you pulled the first 64 tickets out of 836, then 700 and some odd people just go like, well, okay, I didn't win, I'm leaving. Show's over. Yes. And so instead, we've done it this way this time. So it was actually chosen an hour ago, and then the envelope will be opened, and we will pull the ticket number out. And by the way, Mr. Colonel has graciously agreed to drive that car to your driveway. So as if this promotion wasn't awesome enough already. So the winner is going to be chosen. There are 4 runner-up prizes. Maggie, you want to play Bob Barker's assistant and tell everyone what's in the 4 runner-up prizes? You made them. I don't know because you put them together. And everyone is a winner because you saved the Crusade Radio Network. You literally, with your contributions and 380 some odd ticket purchasers this year, you literally saved the Crusade Radio Network. So thank you. So what are the runner-up?
So we have a couple of packages here. I think we had 4 total. One will be a Crusade channel mug from the Mountain Arts Pottery.
These are handmade in Montana.
And it'll come with 4 bags, a variety pack, basically, of Abbey Roast coffee.
Okay.
Then we have another one, Founding Father Films. You'll get the complete set with your certificate of authenticity.
Which is not available any longer.
That is it. That is the last one we have.
Yes.
And then you'll have a Cooking with a King Dude, which will come with a McClure cutting board, a bottle of Beast and Butt Rub, a bag of steak rub, and a Barbacoa Brotherhood t-shirt. But it'll also come with the Double Secret Probation small bag of the never tried before, tested out in public, new Chicken Mamu.
The Chicken Mamu rub.
And then lastly, we have a $50 gift card for MyPillow.
So use our coupon code, mypillow.com/King Dude if you're going to buy something from MyPillow. mypillow.com/King Dude. You have the soundbite that we were talking about last segment?
I do.
Here is the Agenda 47 woman. Now, the hysterics involved here of all these supposedly horrible things that if Trump becomes POTUS 47, he's going to do. I'm listening to this when Mike Parrott played last week, and I'm going, check. Okay, check. That's good, check. So this is supposedly the horror that is going to be unleashed on Americans if Donald Trump becomes POTUS 47.
And here are the first 15 promises he has made if he is reelected. You may have heard of Project 2025, but this is from Agenda 47, and you can read all of these on his website. First, he promises that he will carry out the largest domestic deportation operation in history. He will also ask for the death sentence for anyone convicted of human trafficking. He will close the Department of Education and return all education standards to the states to decide. He will put prayer back into school, and he will criminalize any race-based advantage programs. He will end the Affordable Care Act. He will ban gender-affirming care for adults and children, and he will ban any federal dollars from going towards gender-affirming care. which means anyone with government-provided health care will no longer be able to access gender-affirming care except for Viagra and Cialis. Those will still be available.
Yay.
He will propose a constitutional amendment that gives a term limit to Congress. He will deploy the Department of Justice to investigate the Biden crime family and any of his adversaries or political rivals. He will immediately pardon all of the January 6thers, and he will create a task force to investigate anyone who arrested, charged, or imprisoned a January 6er. He will increase the penalties for underage criminal offenders, strengthen immunity for police officers, and deploy the National Guard to patrol woke cities. On day one, he will reassess our participation in NATO and says that every European country needs to pay the United States for protection. He will also restore the wonderful travel ban for Muslims coming to America. He will build freedom cities. This is 10 new cities built on federal land. He will award them to areas with the best development proposals, and he will prioritize moving young families to these freedom cities. He will kill all e-vehicles and e-vehicle legislation, seeking to replace that with the development of a flying car. He believes that we could create a car that vertically takes off.
Never heard that
He will
one.
remove all of
I'm
the
game,
limits
though.
on American natural gas
What you got against the
exports and
Jetsons,
drill
bro?
baby drill for oil domestically. He will impose a tariff of up to 60% on Chinese imports. He will extend the 2017 tax cuts and drop the corporate tax rate from 21% to 15%. He will push Congress to pass legislation that would give every American the right to concealed carry anywhere at any time.
Okay,
and he
good.
will revoke any gun restrictions or legislation that seeks to inhibit people's ability to own guns that's been passed in the last several years. He will demand that Europe pay back all the money we gave Ukraine, and then he will use all of that money to recruit for the American military. And he will take billions and billions of dollars from private university endowments by taxing, fining, and suing the universities. He specifically names Harvard in this one. And then he will use that money to create the American Academy. It is a free online college that will be free of wokeness that he will force employers to recognize as a bachelor's degree equivalent. So that's Agenda 47.
So basically, he'll make America great again and inhabitable again, and wonderful for people that work hard for a living and play by the rules, and kick out the European freeloaders and the rest, and prevent a army of people that are the antithesis to a Christian civilization from continuing to migrate and move into the United States. Sounds like a plan to me, dude. I mean, can we start this now? Do we have to wait for Trump? I've never seen this Agenda 47 website, by the way, but I am. Did you hear anything in there that I didn't? I think he left a couple out actually, like ending the IRS. So that's a good one. Not only drill, baby, drill. Get the hell out of my state of Louisiana. Federal government, leave. Get out. You're not welcome. Leave. Take your OSHA with you. You have to deal with these people. Take all of your little regulatory agencies. Take all of them with you. Leave. Get out. You're not wanted. So I think that she actually, the Agenda 47 doesn't go far enough. We are ready. Are you ready for runner-up tickets, Maggie? So we're going to do are we going to swap hands here? Okay, so 4 tickets, Kayla, one at a time. Mid or Monday, are you going to spend that thing? Now, don't pull a big one out. And don't try to sneak another ticket. Hey, look, you watch her because she bought tickets. Don't try to sneak one of her tickets into that white envelope now. All right. Golden Truth Ticket, Sweepstakes, 2024 edition. First run-up prize number is, I feel like I'm at a bingo game, 571. 640-285-71. That is
Curtis Weisenberger.
Curtis Weisenberger. We know Curtis Weisenberger. I know which one he wants. Okay, here. There's your ticket. You can have that. Okay. Ticket number 2. 640-282-229. 229. This is an early one. 2.
Hold on, I got a lot to scroll through.
Yeah, it's 836 names. So
That is going to be Mr. Daniel Quigley.
Dan Quigley. I know Dan. Congratulations, Dan. Congratulations, Curtis and Rose. So I know both of those two. All right, number 3. Here we go. And And number 3 is 64028 564. 564.
564 is going to be Brian May.
I thought you were going to say Brian Cook. Brian May, I actually do not know. And the final runner-up, thank you, Kayla, is 64028
Wait, 022?
022.
Oh, that's all the way at the top.
So if you went in order, this
I
could be a winner. This could be a on-air winner.
That's going to be Amy Bergstresser.
Amy Bergstresser is fourth and final runner-up winner. Thank you.
Thank you, ladies.
And so now the tension mounts and the suspense builds. It's 18 minutes after the hour on the East Coast. It's 9:18, 8:18 in the Central Coast or Central Time Zone. So, at the start of the next segment, we will pull the actual white envelope out and then read the ticket number off, and then we will reveal on live TV and radio, as Oprah would say, you get a car, you get a car. Everybody gets a car, but except everybody. You're not giving everybody a car. Okay, all right. Colonel's over there going, no, everybody doesn't get a car. Midday has a ticket in there in that barrel as well. Okay, let's go back. I want to read to you from Jonathan Turley today. And let me also say, because this is a momentous day in American history. Today's July the 2nd. Today is the day that at about this time, so John Hancock would have brought the Congress, the Second Continental Congress, Secretary Harrison would have taken the seat. He would have said he was ready to take the notes for the day. And then Hancock would have banged the gavel down about right now and would have called the House to order, the Second Continental Congress meeting in Independence Hall in Philadelphia on this day in 1776. It was about 85 degrees out that morning, by midday. I forget who recorded the temperature, but it was recorded. And John Adams, knowing that the vote on independence must be unanimous, is looking around the room and he's amazed by what he doesn't see. Pennsylvania's John Dickinson is not in the room. Dickinson had been the only opponent of independence yesterday when the Jefferson's Declaration was up for debate. And there was for independence and against, and Dickinson was the only one that rose to say that he was against. This is all in my movie, by the way, The Road to Independence, the movie, and the audio set as well, that Dickinson opposed. And so Adams is looking around the room, and Dickinson's not there. So he just didn't show up today. He didn't show up because that would make the Pennsylvania delegation, instead of a 3-3 deadlock, it would be 3-2-4. So it was Franklin, Morris, and Wilson were the four, and I forget who the other two were that were against. But Dickinson would have made it a tie. It would have been 3-3 for Pennsylvania. They voted by state, not by delegate. So Dickinson not showing up means Pennsylvania's in. And then at about 10 o'clock this morning, so in about 40 minutes, Caesar Rodney would show up in his boots and his spurs and would break the deadlock for Delaware, which had 3 delegates, and they were split 1-1. And Caesar Rodney would show up and famously throw that vote for independence. You ever been to, is it Rehoboth Beach, Delaware? Ann Dolan, Tom Dolan, you guys, I think, have been, or you guys have been to Delaware. What's the city in Delaware that has the 20-foot tall statue of Caesar Rodney on his horse? People in Delaware thought so much of what Rodney did because, he rode all throughout the night. He had to change horses like 6 times. And it was a thunderstorm. It rained all night long. It was just an act of heroism. There's a statue somewhere in one of those cities in Delaware of Caesar Rodney. and it shows it shows him atop the horse. So then the vote can go on. New York has now reported in that that the New York delegation in the state of New York has given the authorization that we're in for independence. So with that, the vote occurs at about 10 a.m. So in about 40 minutes. The actual vote on independence is voted on, and it is voted yes. And then the difficult work comes, and they begin going through Jefferson's text and proposing edits. So there's like 71 charges that Jefferson makes against King George III in the Parliament. Only 37 of them survive, so they cut out, 44 or 34? They cut 34. They cut about half of Jefferson's charges out. And he had to sit there and listen to them, basically reading it out going, who the hell put that in there? That's stupid. So whatever. Well, that's a little over the top. And so for 2 days. So the vote on independence actually occurs today. As a matter of fact, John Adams is so excited that while he's sitting in Independence Hall, he fires a letter off to Abigail, his wife, and tells her that this is the day that ought to be celebrated with guns and fireworks and cannons and games and shows, that the independency of the United Colonies is an event that the world has never seen before, and it's true. It really is. I think we completely lose sight of this. 4th of July celebrations aren't what they used to be. In any event, they are here. They are here at Bulldog Kia, and we're going to give a car away, and that's going to cause some fireworks in that person's home. Good fireworks in that person's home, and we're going to do that next segment here. I want to talk about, you know what, because we're going to get busy with car stuff next segment. So, play number 13. This is digital media file number 13. I want to play, this is what the leftards are saying about the SCOTUS ruling in favor of presidential immunity yesterday. This is Harry Sisson, this punk. This guy is going to get a visit from a Secret Service agent or Secret Service agents. I was telling the story earlier. Go ahead and play the clip. I'll tell the story afterwards.
Donald Trump's campaign manager just threatened me on social media. I'm not joking. In response to the immunity decision from the Supreme Court this morning, I said on Twitter, according to the Supreme Court, Biden can now send in SEAL Team 6 to take them all out. He could send in the military to take out Trump. He has immunity for official acts now. And I guess the Trump campaign didn't like that very much because Trump's campaign manager, Chris LaCivita, responded to me by saying, expect a visit. Now, what do you think that means? Is the Trump campaign threatening me with a visit? Are they saying they're going to send their guys to my house to try to keep me quiet so I won't advocate against their candidate? Is that what he's implying here? I'm just using my First Amendment rights to tell them how awful.
I'm done. Shut up. No, dumbass. The Secret Service is going to visit you, you moron. I was telling David Colonel and Mitter Monday the story earlier here. In 1994, I was working at 610 WTIX 690 in New Orleans. I received a phone call from a listener. I took the call, and I don't even remember exactly what was said, but the caller intimated in some way that President Clinton, I think he might have said he should be lynched or something. I don't remember what he said. Tell you the truth. I do remember what happened next. I get a call from the office from Jennifer at the front desk. She goes, Mike, after the show, because this was an evening show, so the next morning I'm there, I'm doing whatever. And she goes, Mike, there's someone on the phone, and he's very insistent. He says he's from the Secret Service. And I went, humana. So I answered the phone. This is Mike Church. Introduced himself from the Secret Service, and he said, first thing he asked was, do you have a recording from yesterday? And I said, yes. And he said, we would like a copy of the tape. And I said, okay. And he said, do you recall, and he gave the guy's name, a phone call that you took yesterday? And I said, yes. And I said, well, yes, sir. And he said, did he say, and then he repeated to me what the Secret Service had been told. And I said, as I recall, that's pretty close. And he said, do you know this caller? Do you personally know this caller? And I said, he's a frequent caller. I know of him. I don't personally know him. I don't know his address or anything, but yes, I do know him. He goes, did he use his real name? And I said, yes, sir. And he said, okay, we have the phone record, so we know the number that he called from. And he said, an agent is going to come by if you would make us a copy of that tape. And I said, yes, sir. And he thanked me, and he said, thank you very much. He goes, just to reiterate, Mr. Church, you're in no trouble whatsoever. You did the right thing. You dismissed the call. You told him you shouldn't say that. He goes, we're only going to you just to confirm the series of events that we were told. Now, this was in 1994. And I don't even remember what the guy said. But I got a visit from a Secret Service agent because a caller intimated that some violence should happen to President Clinton. Okay? So this little foxnard punk here ought to be buried underneath the jail cell where Steve Bannon is.
He won't be, though, because the Biden administration actually pays him. He gets paid a salary from the campaign.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
So he's a hitman.
He's on the books.
Oh, so he's a social media assassin here. Okay. So what the campaign manager for the Trump campaign was talking about was expect a visit. You better believe he's going to get a visit. The Secret Service is going to visit that punk and is going to say, they're going to confirm that he said that, and they're going to ask him, do you wish violence upon President Trump? And are you going to continue advocating for it? Because to become an advocate for this is to be almost a material participant in the commission of a crime. How many times did Democrats accuse the Tucker Carlson clip last week, where the woman said, well, you're responsible for the mass shooting in Buffalo, New York, because you advocated against Native Americans. He never said white people. Native Americans being replaced by foreigners from foreign countries, and that's why this attack happened. And what was Tucker's reaction? How dare you? How dare you? No, I most certainly did not. I did not do that, and I never said white people. This social media contagion that is out there with this, now this is completely and totally irresponsible and sensational, obviously. What was the purpose of that? Let me just to clarify something about the immunity that was granted yesterday. And then you have Biden out there going like, well, the president can do anything he wants to do. Anything he wants to do. That's not true. First of all, a president or any man that's an American citizen ought to be guided by a moral compass that is reinforced by his belief in God. That doesn't mean that I can do anything. Your morality would tell you no. Your formation would tell you no. You shouldn't do that. What did John Adams say? Liberty is not the freedom to do anything you want. It is the responsibility to do what you should, right? What you should. All right, we'll continue this when we come back and give a car away. And welcome back to the Mike Church Show on the Crusade Radio Network in year number 34 now here on Live Talk Radio. And Live Talk Radio the way it should be. Welcoming all of you that are watching on the YouTube channel on the Crusade Radio Network. Please subscribe to the channel on YouTube. One of the milestones that we need to hit in our broadcasting of the Crusade Radio Network is the 1,000 subscriber mark on YouTube, which we were in striking distance with just the other day here. You're home for the 2024 Golden Truth Ticket Kia Sportage EX sweepstakes and giveaway. So reiterating, Maggie, who are the 4 winners from last segment who have now can claim runner-up prizes?
So we had Curtis Weisenberger, we had Daniel Quigley, Brian May, and Amy Bergstresser.
And Amy Bergstresser has been a Crusader for a long, long time. Of course, Curtis Weisenberger and his wife Rose has been a special guest. Dan Quigley, Dan has been, Dan Quigley. He came to one of the Let My People Smoke events in Philadelphia, Midday Monday. Dan Monday, the old farmer, had dropped in to see us here today, by the way. So before we spin that barrel and pull that envelope out and pick and reveal to you who the winner of the Kia Sportage is, I just want to chime in on something that I saw going on in the Crusader Stadium chat room about the Secret Service agent. The Secret Service is the oldest federal law enforcement agency in existence. Now, it is true that there were federal marshals of some sort at the time when the Constitution went into effect in 1791. But the Secret Service deploys and discharges a very important duty. I fail to see, just reading some of your comments, why the Secret Service is a threat to your liberty or to anyone else's. The Secret Service discharges a very specific, noble, and honorable duty and function. That is to safeguard the well-being and the safety of the duly elected President of the United States. I fail to see why anyone has an issue with the Secret Service. If you're going to have the presidency, then you should be able to have, just like the governor. Did you know, I'm sure the governor of Georgia has the same thing. Did you know that the state police of Louisiana basically exists to protect the governor of the state of Louisiana? Did you know that he is the commander-in-chief? Is Brian Kemp the commander-in-chief of the Georgia State Police? If they have to be called into action, he acts as commander-in-chief. When Governor Landry goes somewhere, if he wants protection, the state police are there. Do you guys oppose the state police protecting the governor too? Do you oppose the protection of any dignitary or diplomat? There's a limit to limited government, okay? And the limit to limited government is not to leave people out there completely to their own devices. I'd like to say something as well here on this show. It's my damn show. So I'd like to say something about the First Amendment. You don't have the right to say whatever the F you want, whenever the F you say, what you want to. That's not what the First Amendment says. The First Amendment says you can petition the government for a redress of grievances. So learn how to write a petition and then send it to the government and express your grievances. You don't have the right to go into a theater and hold court and scream at people and tell them that they're all effed and screwed in the head and that they ought to vote this way or they ought to do that. Some of this stuff that I see you guys write is complete and total gibberish and nonsense. There are limits on speech. There are limits on actions, and we ought to let maybe our morality sometime. Maybe we ought to just let our some sense of human dignity control what we say about one person or don't say about that person. So no, you don't have the right to say whatever you want, whenever you want. And you know what? You wouldn't want to have that kind of right. What kind of a civilization would that be? Well, how do you want to enforce that, jackass king dude, now that you're raining on our parade? It's called, remember, we used to talk about this during when the Berzer effect would go into effect. It's called obedience to the unenforceable. You are the enforcer. Colonel's the enforcer. Maggie's the enforcer. Monday's the enforcer. You've never been called an enforcer before. This is a banner day for you. This is why I stay out of chat rooms. This is why, because I shouldn't read comments. I just shouldn't. I've been telling people since 2009, for God's sake, whatever you do, if you read the article about me at the American Conservative Magazine website and the magazine when they wrote it, for God's sake, whatever you do, when you get to the comments, leave. You don't want to know what your fellow citizens think about things. You're so much better off thinking, oh, he's a cheery fella. You're so much better off thinking like, oh, it looks like he's having a nice day. Or oh, man, too bad. He's having a bad day. Yeah, that's true. You're far better off not knowing what people think about most things than you will ever be of knowing their innermost thoughts and what they think about everything. So, had to say it. That's why you guys pay me the big bucks. And you know what the big bucks are today? Today may be the only day that I don't get paid.
0.0.
I'd actually get a check today. It's going to be a banner day. So I love all of you people, but sometimes I'm wrong. I have Maggie to tell me I'm wrong about 150 times a day. Oh, okay, I'm sorry, 160. My bad. You are the filter. You are the filter. Okay. Who's going to win this car? Who wants to pull that envelope out of there? All right, Muddy, give it a spin. The moment you have all waited for. Well, no, there's already a ticket in the envelope. Okay, so Maggie, get the camera. Well, you know what? He'll hand it to me. You're good. You're good. You could zoom in, though. Here we go. I have the envelope. It's sealed on the back. See that? Sealed. All right, here we go. Wow, that's a good seal. You must have pressed really hard when you sealed this. I'm going to show all of you. There is one ticket in there. I have the number. Here it is. 105. All right, Maggie, zoom out and go tell us who owns 640281005. And we're going to have a drum roll here. Drum roll, please. The spreadsheet is big. 105. And, all right, put the headset on. Here we go. You know what we should have? You want the trumpet fanfare?
Yes, I do.
I'm usually ready for this with the trumpet fanfare. And for the first time, I'm actually not ready with the trumpet fanfare. It is, okay, here we go. I know who it is. I'm almost moved to a little emotion here because I've actually met these people in person. Stephen and Lori Gia Morisi are the winners of the 2024 Kia Sportage. You can't find better people than Stephen and his wife. Self-employed, run their own business, good practicing Catholics, sweet people, wonderful. Listen to every show every day. They broadcast us in their facility, in their retail place. I've actually met them in person. Stephen Giammarisi, this is your lucky day, pal. So, and he bought what? 10? He's Hogs for the Cause, all of it. He's a fantastic. They support everything that we've ever done. They're amazing people. Stephen brought 21 tickets, David. 21 tickets. Hey, dude, I'd say that's a pretty good investment. $2,100 for $30,000. I'll take the trade. And for those of you that don't know, Stephen is, I want to say going back to probably Old Station, Old Country, 2010, somewhere up in there, probably about the time you started listening on the old school and the old time Sirius XM Patriot channel. And as I said, I've met Stephen. That is amazing. This is absolutely amazing. So in order, Kenneth Snyder, William Franklin, Peter Kerr, the winners of the car. Peter Kerr, who won last year? Your guy, Scott? Yeah, James Scott, and now Stephen and Lori Giammarese. Again, the 2024 Golden Truth ticket.
I just want to give a shout out to the people that bought 10 or more tickets. Mr. Bob and Julie Kopka, Ronald May, Robert Brockman, Gerald Sommier, and those were pay it forwards. All of his were pay it forwards. Mr. Mundy, Stephen Ross, Thomas Heidenfelder, Dr. Bonin, Kathleen Winchester, Miles Hendricks, and Mr. Stephen Winter. All 10 or more tickets. So thank y'all very much.
There is your ticket right there. Thanks to all of you. 836 Golden Truth tickets sold. 836 for the grand total. And the Giammarise's brought 21. Again, that's a pretty good investment, but that's a pretty good gain on you. On your investment. Although, truth be known, the Giammarise's are probably out $30,000 and supporting this show for the last 15 years. So
they
there's probably break even for Stephen and for Stephen and his wife. So the 2024 Grand Prize winner is and again, thanks to all of you. Yes, Jacqueline, I was really rooting for her because you had the best narrative story. Steve almost being what?
Cinderella story.
It's Cinderella's story out of nowhere about minding his own business, I guess. And a tree falls on the car and almost takes. They had, I think, the best narrative story there. That Steve almost gets killed by this ginormous out for vengeance. Oh, if you were a Democrat, this tree fell on you. It'd be a vengeful tree, right? The tree falls. Crushes the front of the car, crushes the rear of the car, and leaves him completely intact. In a little bit of time that we have remaining here, just thanks to all of you who participated and who bought tickets in the 2024 Golden Truth Ticket sweepstakes. I wonder what the total number of tickets is, though, seriously. We should keep a statistic on this. People that have bought tickets for Brother Andre Marie in the St. Benedict Center. Because it almost seems like there's an impenetrable barrier there, and that the St. Benedict Center never gets their name called. That if anyone that's has been in the contest and tried to win the car every year, the St. Benedict Center is it. Are you counting up how many St. Benedict Center tickets? Actually, you could probably get the count in Stripe. Thanks to all. So, Brother Andre and Marie and Company had 36 chances. 36 chances to win the 2024 Kia ticket, a Golden True ticket this year. By the way, Stephen, if you're listening, I know you are. Bruce will be delivering your Kia to you. So Seth's dad, Bruce, will be making the trip. I think it's to Ohio. What?
Doing the colonel's job for him, huh?
Yeah.
Just designating who's going to drive a car out and whatever.
Well, you know that it's going to be Bruce because he delivered your car to you, ma'am. So I'm just sharing information, man. I'm the messenger. Don't take it out on the messenger. So big day here today. Let's conclude in the last 10 minutes of the broadcast. And thanks to all of you. Again, 836 Golden Shoe tickets sold goes a long way towards, it goes a long way towards a lot of things. And we will put it to use. Just a programming note. Tomorrow, Richard Barrett will be filling in for yours truly. Thursday is the annual Road to Independence, the audio series marathon. It'll play all day long, as it did on the 4th of July 2008. Friday is a day of rest day for all of us. So the news will be live, best of programming all day Friday. We are off to Dahlonega, Georgia for a church family reunion, actually. And we will return on Wednesday, the 10th. Probably not until, we probably won't go back live broadcast until the 11th, which is the day of Trump's sentencing. And we have to be live for that. And somebody asked me yesterday what I thought about. Sent me an email what I thought. I said, "Well, dude, Mershon's going to finish the job. Why wouldn't he? I mean, the trial was convened. The 4 trials were convened for the sole explicit purpose of one of them being successful and obtaining a guilty verdict, and then sentencing the now criminal and throwing him in jail. So I fully expect that Mershon is going to. There's no magnanimity in crossroad deal taking Democrats. There is nothing that is going to, in my mind anyway, that is going to stop Mershon, Judge Mershon, from executing that order or from passing sentence on President Trump, even though he's going to be completely and totally annihilated on appeal. And we know this now because of the Supreme Court decision. So we'll have we will be here on July the 11th to cover all that. And again, I don't know, does he say that the sentence must be carried out immediately? Does he slap an ankle bracelet, order an ankle bracelet to be put on Trump's ankle, and then tell him that you're to report to Rikers Island or whatever next Thursday to go serve out your sentence or whatever? I don't know. But I fail to see why you would have gone through all that you went through to not pass the sentence and throw Donald John Trump in jail, or at least sentence him to jail, where they actually seize the inside of the jail. So what they so desperately want, they want that picture. They want that picture. They want him, Stephen Bannon, perp walked into the jail, handcuffed. That's what they want. The whole thing was to obtain that picture, that photograph, that embarrassment. So we will find out. Jonathan Turley, I'm going to close out with Jonathan Turley. We already gave you the story of Independence Day, which was that the vote was today. It was unanimous. All 13 states voted in the affirmative. In 2 days hence, on Thursday of this week, on the 4th of July, when you celebrate it, will have been that vote is for the edited version of Jefferson's Declaration, which would then be submitted and read aloud in Independence Hall. And for the first time, it would be read aloud. And then the delegates again voted by states, and they voted 13 affirmatives. And then the rough draft, or Jefferson's, or the edited copy, was then sent to, what was the guy's name that starts with an M down the street who was the printer? Oh, guys. It wasn't sent to Dunlop. Dunlop printed the drafts. It was sent to another printer to be what they call engrossed, which means they basically made a brass plate out of it so that copies could be struck. And then it would be, just for those of you that are history buffs, then it would be returned back to Independence Hall. I want to say it's on the 17th of July. And as delegates were there, or as they came, because some of them left after the vote went home, as the delegates were there, or when they came back to do whatever business of the Second Continental Congress, they each would assign their names. So you could see in order who signed by who was there on the first day and then who came after the fact. And then, and if you listen to Pages of Independence, our documentary, some interesting things happened. There were some young people that were eavesdropping and were right underneath the windows of Independence Hall and were listening to the Declaration of Independence being read aloud. They went and ran down the street and told someone what they had just heard, which was then leaked to the Philadelphia, I forget the name of the newspaper, and in its July 5th edition, it would say that there has been a Declaration of Independence, has been passed by the Continental Congress. They haven't furnished any of us with a copy. On July the 5th, though, someone did leak. Yes, leaks were happening back in 1776. Someone did leak a copy of the Declaration, and it did get into the hands of Commodore Essex Hopkins, I believe. And on the 6th of July, it would be read in Town Square in Philadelphia for the first time publicly. One of the copies that was made, an early copy, was sent to Washington. He received it in Manhattan, where he was camped out with his army and was about to make his trek across the Long Island, that's the East River, across the East River to Long Island, where he would then hole up and wait for Lord Admiral Howe and 30,000 Hessian mercenaries to land on Long Island and chase him back to Manhattan. 1776 is a phenomenal year. David McCullough's book, did you get McCullough's book? McCullough's book, 1776, might be one of the best American history books ever written. Where did I get most of what I just told you? I got it from McCullough's book. The history of the draft of the Declaration and the copies that I just told, I got that from Professor Fritz, what was his name? He's in Pages of Independence. In any event, I was just browsing through Jonathan Turley's piece here just to put a kind of a coda on the day. Age of Rage. Critics unleash threats and abuse on the court following the presidential immunity decision. Why is President Obama immune from having killed an American citizen, Anwar al-Awlaki, without due process? That's the question that Turley asks. He even says, yet academics who do not raise a whimper of opposition when President Obama killed an American citizen without a trial or a charge, when former Attorney General Eric Holder announced the kill list policy that included the right to kill any American citizen, he was met with applause, not condemnation. This is presidents doing whatever the hell they please, as Biden said last night. And it was Obama. It was Obama and Vice President Biden who did whatever the hell they pleased. Moreover, Turley writes, even the government conceded before the Supreme Court that official acts did deserve protection from prosecution. The issue was only where to draw that line. The court found that there was an absolute immunity for actions that fall within their exclusive sphere of constitutional authority, while they enjoy presumptive immunity for other official acts. They do not enjoy immunity for unofficial or private actions. I felt that there was a good faith argument on both sides of the issue. The reaction, however, of politicians and pundits is to again denounce and even threaten the justices on the Supreme Court. And with that, we leave you a happy and blessed and safe Independence Day and Independence Week. See you next week when we're live. God bless you and Mary keep you.